attributes. Yeah? Conceptually, there will be no problem from our part. Yeah?
Okay.
And that's what we say as well. This has always been the message. Christ was a prophet and a messenger. He came to tell people to worship God, who he says, my Father and your Father.
Okay.
And he says, my God and your God. So yes, we agree with that. Yes, this is what God always said, worship this being only, who is of this nature.
Okay.
Yeah. So we say, this God sends us revelation through prophets and messengers. And we look and examine them, and you can actually then say, okay, this indeed is the guidance from God. Quran, we say, is a final book from God, giving us that guidance about who he is and what we are supposed to do in that relationship. And the Quran describes, in fact, you'll be surprised what I said, things which you thought philosophically. This is a chapter in the Quran, chapter 112, Quran Al-Ikhlas, in the Quran, 114 chapters, and this is 112.
Okay.
Say, he is Allah the one in his uniqueness. He is a samad, self-sufficient master whom all creatures need. He neither eats or drinks, but basically self-sufficient. This is the word samad entails. Lam yalid wa lam yulad, begets not, nor is begotten. So he doesn't produce others, neither is he produced or generated or begotten. Yeah? So not himself doing production or generation, or not himself being produced.
So he didn't make things.
No. He himself doesn't produce or beget.
Doesn't beget,
and he
doesn't
himself
have
is
children.
not begotten.
Doesn't have
So all it
children.
means is have children.
Doesn't have children.
Lam yalid means God himself is not born or begotten, or generated or preceded, and he doesn't do that himself.
But didn't
Because-
he make us?
He made us. But
Creation.
He creates.
But himself-
he doesn't beget.
Oh, okay. Beget is different to create. Okay.
Begetting is an archaic English word, means siring a child.
Okay.
Right? When a father has a child through relationship of physical, that's begetting.
So using this logic straight away,
So,
like,
so God is not begotten from someone else, neither does he beget.
okay.
And وَلَمْ يَكُنْ لَهُ كُفُوًا أَحَدٌ, there's none to him co-equal or comparable in any way, shape or form. These are only 4 statements, 4 ayat of the Quran, 4 verses. All of them are interlinked, describing the essential nature of God.
Okay, these were the four you
Yeah,
talked about earlier.
absolute oneness, being totally self-sufficient and independent, the one who's not born and the one doesn't produce, totally unlike evil. Self-sufficient entails being omnipotent and omniscient and so on.
So like,
That's the Quran.
what's the where does this come in the Quran? Like, where does it come in the story?
This is a unique chapter. This is a whole chapter.
Yeah, no. I mean, like, what's the context? So, like, you know, like, I know you said it was near the end.
Yeah.
So is it like,
This is just the Quran is chapters. Some chapters are big chapters which contains stories and things like that.
okay.
And some
There's no
chapters
long-term story.
there are some, but not this one. But some chapters are very concise. Like this one talks about literally the creed of Islam. This one summarizes what is Islam is about. This verse talks about say Muhammad, say to them, Allahu Ahad, Allah is one and unique in his nature, one and unique in his essence, one and unique in his attribute. No one similar to him. That when you describe to one, meaning there is no second, there's no third, it's the one. Yeah?
Okay.
Allahu Samad, meaning as well as Samad, it has a very unique term in Arabic, meaning that all the creation relies on him and he is not relying on no one. Meaning he is sufficient from anything, but everything relies on him. Everything relies on him. Not just only sufficient. In fact, on top of that, he is sufficient from all the creation, as well that all the creation they depend on him in their existence, in their sustain, in everything. Then Allah has described this about his existence, that he wasn't begotten, meaning he wasn't a relation between God and goddess and produced him, so he wasn't begotten, nor he begets. He doesn't produce children. And there is no someone similar to him or equal to him in any sort of form. So this kind of concise chapter about the whole creed of Islam, basically as simple as it, concise, to the point.
If you were to examine this logically, you see, look, if he was one and unique, then he has to be by himself independent and self-sufficient. And if he's independent and self-sufficient, then he cannot be born from others or begotten. If he begets someone else, then he will not be unique anymore. There will be someone else like him. And he will not be one anymore, he'll be two. And if he's not begotten, not begetting, independent, self-sufficient, can there be anyone like him? He will be totally unique. No parallel. That's the last verse says, there's no co-equal in whatsoever anyone along with him. So this chapter is a very strong chapter describing the purity of faith about the very nature of God. I mean, it directly engages with his Christian belief. Directly, and refutes it.
Yeah, like, because it's written, that's wrong, basically.
Yeah. So, to give you an example, in fact, when they talk about logic and philosophers, I find it strange. I want you to ponder on this.
Okay.
If you have...
Ponder it, so that I help.
Yeah. You see this thing on the floor, right? Yeah, okay? Sorry.
Okay.
Now, we want to lift this up. God, the Father, is omnipotent by their definition.
Okay.
And they also agree that God the Son is omnipotent by definition. Omnipotent.
Omnipotent, that's the strength one, right?
The second one, the Son. They say also omnipotent.
Knowledge. Sorry, I'm not very good with potent.
Power.
Power. Okay.
All powerful. Sorry. Both all powerful.
Yeah.
So God the Father wants to lift this up to this height.
Okay.
1 meter.
Okay.
And God the Son wants to lift this up 2 meters high. At the same time on the same object. Where is this going to go?
3 meters up?
Then none of them are omnipotent. None of them are all powerful because they fail to lift it up exactly where they want to. So 1 meter or 2 meter, that's the option.
Okay.
So where is it going to do? Because they are unique in their will. If they have no will, different wills, then how do you say one is Father and the Son? So one of them wills to lift up 1 meter, other one 2 meters.
Yeah, if they have, if you make a different choice. Yeah.
Imagine now it is lifted up to here. That makes the Son not omnipotent.
Okay.
Failed to lift it up too high. And if it goes up there, the Father is not omnipotent.
I get it. Yeah.
You cannot have more than one omnipotent in reality. No more than two absolutes. It's like having a car with 2 driving wheels and 2 independent drivers don't listen to each other, and they will take one to the north, one to the south. Where's the car going to go?
Well, yeah. If they want to do different things,
This is why Quran says, لو كان فيهما آلهة إلا الله لفسدتا. Had there been more than one God, there will be corruption and ruin and chaos. It's not going to happen. The universe, one God says rain, other God says sunshine, thunder. The fact that we're still following a particular, it says one is in control. So we say one being, one God, one absolute being is in control of all these things. All these Planck's constants, the gravitational constants, all these constants are so precise. Who's maintaining them? One controller. If there are more than one omnipotent, omniscient, eternal being, there will be conflicting will. You can't just say, oh no, they will together. Why would they will together? Why would they have to compromise? Because you have to be sovereign if you are eternal and self-sufficient. If you're self-sufficient, you don't listen to, okay, I'll listen to you. I'm not going to lift it too high, I'm going to lift it exactly 1 meter. No, I'm compromising my will. Yeah. So
there is adding to this as well. I'm adding to this. You know why God emphasizes about He doesn't beget? And there's emphasis in this. And Allah said in the Quran as well, when Allah criticized the Christian, that when they describe that God has a son, that God, He said their statement is so severe to the extent even the heavens will crumble because of that statement. That even statement, they accuse God to have a son. Why is that? It is perfect for us as a human being to have children, have sons. Why? Why do we need to have children? What's the point? Because we are weak. What's the weakness? Our weakness, that we desire to have children to continue our legacy, continue our lineage. Yeah? Because we know we're going to die at one point. So our children will continue this, this genetic, you could say, reproduction from us. And as well, we wanted to continue our legacy. We wanted to our name to be remembered. All of these things, or in the old times, they have children to help them, for example, working in the field to take care of us when we get old. All of these things. God doesn't need all of that. God doesn't die. So He doesn't need someone to continue His legacy after His death. So He doesn't die. God Himself is all powerful, doesn't need no one to help Him. That's why when they say He sent the Son to do the sacrifice in order for this to be fulfilled. It's the same thing as the same example to lift up this. Because God, He couldn't, either the Father is not able to lift up this stick to this level, so he sent the son to pick it up to this level and then he will pick it up to meaning that each one is not so powerful, the father according to them, or the son according to the Christian faith. They're not all powerful, both of them, they're not all powerful to do that, to forgive the people. So the father has to send his son, and the son has to die in order so the father will forgive, which totally doesn't make sense. If God is powerful, simple as that.
Philosophically, from the Christian concept, I'm already giving you enough examples to ponder on it. We have given you enough example, even on a philosophical level, to see how rationally, whether it makes sense to you or not.
Thank you very much for talking. I'm a slow thinker, so like I don't have a lot of things to say.
You reflect on your own
Thank you very
thoughts.
much for what you said. And generally at the time, so actually at the time.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. I'm meant to be a friend at half six, so it's good time.
Pleasure speaking to you. If you come again, we'll talk again. Yeah.
Yeah,
And as well, study more and learn more about Islam.
Yeah.
And as well, there's a final thing that to prove that as well Islam is the truth as well, that by studying the Quran. That's one of the things which I urge you to do. We don't have a hidden agenda. We tell everyone, this is the Quran. Just study and read the Quran, and you will see the Quran, this amazing book that guided 1.8 billion people on earth, and still guiding people, and still people coming to Islam and accepting Islam even during this severe time. Why? Because they found the guidance in the Quran. It opened their heart. So I will advise you and all the audience to open your heart to accept the truth, and open your mind to follow the truth. As simple as that. And see in the Quran, and see even there are statements in the Quran that those are facts. It cannot be said by someone living in a desert 1400 years ago. How come this prophet and messenger who never read and write is able to say these wisdom, which is yet to be discovered 1400 years after his death? You understand? That's why I urge you, my brother, to study and learn, and then you will see the guidance of the Quran. Just open your heart to accept the truth. As simple as that.
Thank you very much for telling me what you guys think.
No problem.
I've got a lot to think on.
No problem.
Take care.